Hi guys, Vivian Central here and welcome back to another video. And today, rather than doing a review, we're going to be looking at something a bit different. And we're going to be looking at the Lost in Time box set. Now, the Lost in Time box set came out quite a while ago. I can't remember when it came out, but it has been out for a long time. And the argument has started to arise that the Lost in Time box set is a bit outdated because there's a couple of stories on there which are missing and then have now been either animated or found in some cases. I have a couple of the ones that on this thing. I've got two Troughton stories that I've bought that are, and I'll mention a couple of the other ones that have been animated and found and stuff. So yeah, let's get into this. So on the back it says it has orphan stories, or it has surviving episodes from the stories. The story, it has 1 and 3 of the Crusade, 2, 5 and 10 of the Master Plan, 4 of Celestial Toymaker, 3 of Underwater Menace, 2 and 4 of the Moon Base, 1 and 3 of Faceless Ones, episode 2 of the Evil of the Daleks, episode 2 of the Abominable Snowman, episode 3 of Enemy of the World, episode 1 of the Web of Fear, episode 3 and 6 of Wheel in Space, and episode 2 of the Space Pirates. So that means that altogether there's about there's 3 missing Hartnell, 3 orphan Hartnell stories and loads of orphan Troughton stories. Now I believe, I don't understand why they did this, but I believe there is a surviving story, Galaxy 4 episode which is Galaxy 4 Part 3, which is Airlock, I think it's named. But I think they put that on the Aztec Special Edition, which is a bit annoying because it means that I don't have the Aztec Special Edition. So I'm gonna have to pick that up somewhere, which I don't know why they've done that. Didn't really make sense to me. But now we'll look at some of the stuff that's made it a bit outdated. So first of all, we'll look at the William Hartnell era, and for the William Hartnell era, it's more or less fine because they didn't really have not animated any, or none of them already found. So the Crusade, Daleks, Master Plan, and Celestial Toymaker, all of them are still lost. So the William Hartnell era doesn't get it as bad. But the Troughton era is where people kind of argue that it's a bit outdated. With the first one being the Underwater Menace, and they have the third surviving part. And then they did a really bad reconstruction of the other 3 parts. So they had episode 3 and then the other 3 parts, which I think they did pretty bad reconstructions of. And a lot of people don't like it, because rather than animating it, they just did a reconstruction. Because I think they were going to release all of them with reconstructions. Then they went on to animate the invasion, so they changed their mind. Next, there's the Moon Base, and this is one of the ones I got. Moon Base has still got 2 missing stories, but it has been one of the couple of stories to be animated at this time. So that kind of makes the episode 2 and 4 of the Moon Base a bit outdated on the Lost in Time box set. Next on this, we have episode 1 and 3 of the Faceless Ones. Again, the Faceless Ones has been animated. I don't own it, but it has been animated. Yeah. Then next, Evil of the Daleks. Evil of the Daleks hasn't been animated. However, I believe as of this filming, there's been a couple of rumours that this was supposed to be animated, and so was the Web of Fear, which is a bit strange. Next, I have the Abominable Snowman episode 2's on here. Not seen anything from this. I think it was supposed to be rumoured to be this one and the Evil of the Daleks, and then they changed it to the Web of Fear. However, I have a feeling that Web of Fear won't take that long, because they only really need to animate 1 episode opposed to a longer story. So I don't think they'll do it as much, to the point where Web of Fear, I think they know that the Web of Fear episode 3 is somewhere out there in a private collection, so they might have found it, which the public hasn't been told about. But yeah, then there's obviously Enemy of the World. Now, as of this must have come out in quite a long time ago. Before 2013, because in 2013 the Enemy of the World was returned to the BBC archive in full, along with 5 out of the 6 parts of the Web of Fear, which I mentioned, the Web of Fear, which is the next one as well. So yes, this is was recovered and restored to the archive in 2013, or it was found in 2013, meaning that this is the only surviving episode, which was episode 3. Yeah, episode 3. That was the only surviving one at the time, but now it's fully restored, so obviously that makes it just not needed in the archives, if you know what I mean. Then, next on the Lost in Time box set, we finally get to the Web of Fear. The first episode of the Web of Fear was on the Lost in Time box set. Then, the person who found the Enemy of the World, he also found all of the Web of Fear, but for some reason, as he was getting the talks to get them to the BBC archive and stuff like that, someone bought the part 3 of it, so the part 3 went missing for a little while again, although we know it's out there. So they did release the Web of Fear. They released all 6 parts, and the third part was a reconstruction rather than doing a animation, because I think at the time they were just trying to get it out there for people to watch. So that's what they did, rather than making it an animation. No, rather than making it animated, they just thought to get it out there. However, if they release the special edition, I hope that the special edition either animates it or they bring back the last third part of it, because similar to the Underwater Menace, I'm reluctant to buy those 2 episodes. I mean that episode, because I have a feeling that if it's there, if we know it's here, that there's no point in buying the reconstruction version unless I really, really want to see it, which I don't at the moment. So yeah. Next is The Wheel in Space. Although this hasn't been animated, I feel like this and The Evil of the Daleks, as Evil of the Daleks it's been rumoured to be animated, I feel The Wheel in Space won't be too far behind, because I watched these. I think The Wheel in Space is the only Troughton story I've watched on this, and listened to it in full with the audio, and it's really good. Well, I like it at least, but obviously it's not. I want to see the film. However, it's a Sidemen story, so it probably will get a decent amount of people buying it for a Sidemen story, because I mean it's the last Sidemen story to need to be animated, so it will get a lot of pull for people who are Sidemen fans and Doctor Who fans who want to have the full Sidemen collection, and then they could probably even release like a massive box set called The Sidemen Years, and they could just have everything from 10th Planet to 10th Planet to Silver Nemesis, and they could make that one special box set, similar to how they released the Regeneration box set and the Davros box set and stuff like that. And I think that would be good. Also, it would mean that pretty much all of Series 5 had been. I think they're trying to get some of the series animated, like Series 4 and Series 5 animated, so they can release Troughton Blu-ray box sets. I have a feeling they're trying to do that, because the only ones of Series 4 that haven't been animated are Hartnell, the Smugglers from William Hartnell's era, because he kind of crossed over a bit. So the Smugglers, the Highlanders, the Underwater Menace hasn't been animated, but it has been has a reconstruction. And is there any others? I think that's it. But those are the only ones which haven't been animated or reconstructed. So those will be ones, and then they can release it, similar to how Season 5, there's only like The Abominable Snowman and this and The Wheel in Space. So they could probably do it better then. So I think it has the chance of being animated. And then last but not least, the Space Pirates. I mean, I think the Space Pirates is arguably one of Troughton's worst stories. I mean, fair is fair. A lot of people complained that The Enemy of the World was a really bad story, until obviously it was recovered and restored, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's actually really good," and stuff. So I could see that if the Space Pirates was restored in full, or maybe even if it was just animated, that a lot of people might have more appreciation to the story. But at the moment, I feel like it doesn't have much appreciation. It will definitely be one of the final Charlton stories they do, because it's just kind of getting it. It would be kind of collection purpose story. There's no reason you would buy that other than for finishing your collection. Similar to something like the Twin Dilemma, you wouldn't really go, oh my god, I really want to get the Twin Dilemma. You'd be like, oh, I just want to finish my Colin Baker collection. But yeah, overall, does that make it worth it? Well, I'm not sure. I mean, there's definitely a lot of them which have been found animated and stuff like that. There's a couple that are going to be found and animated most likely. I think if you're a Hartnell fan and you want to look at the saved Hartnell stories, then this is definitely a good thing for you. There are a couple of clips which are pretty good to watch. There's a surviving clips from the Daleks Master Plan, The Smugglers, 10th Planet, Power of the Daleks, Highlands, there's the Underwater Menace, Macroterra, all of those, and the clips are pretty alright. I mean, I think what's good is I think you can get the audio for the Crusade, which is good, and then you also get the audio for the Moonbase, but obviously the Moonbase has been animated, so there's no point, but the Crusade, you can watch. I got the 2 and 4 Crusade, which is good, because I like the Crusade. I think it's probably one of the Hartnell stories I want animated the most. I think the Crusades and the Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve, those are the two ones I want. I don't really care about Daleks Master Plan, because it's just a bit too long, so it'd be a bit difficult. But yeah, does this make it a worthwhile box set with all these clips? No, not particularly. I think I'm pretty sure that, yeah, aware of this, but let me see how it was made. It says here 2004. When this came out in 2004, or at least the big beefy version did, I'm sure it was worth it. I'm sure lots of people were like, oh my gosh, I get more Hartnell and Charlton stories, though they probably haven't seen, because the episodes are orphaned, so they probably hadn't seen them in either a long time, they hadn't seen them before, because they hadn't been released, because they were orphaned, so there was no point in releasing them. So I'm sure at the time it was good, but after now with the animation, it's gradually become less and less important. The one thing I can say about it, I suppose, is the only thing is it doesn't make it a bad thing, but it doesn't make it I think if you buy it, then yeah, good on you, you bought it, you might as well. But I think now it's becoming less of a necessity, so if it's not on your shelf, but you got a full collection, that's fine. Whether back then, you probably really needed it on yourself to be having been considered to have a full collection. The best thing I think this did for me was I watched the Moonbase on this without the animation before I bought it, because I wasn't a fan of the story, what I'd heard of the story, so I had to watch it on this. I thought I bought this because I wanted to look at some of the orphan episodes, but then after watching the Moonbase on this, that's when I was convinced to buy the actual DVD, which is good, because that's a good thing. In terms of stories that I kind of hope get animated, Evil of the Daleks, I watched the second episode, hooked. It was really good, and yeah, and that just would be good, because I'm pretty sure this and Daleks Master Plan are the only two stories missing, even unless you count much into the unknown as like Dalek story. Wheel in Space, obviously, one Wheel in Space, because I liked the third part's cliffhanger to the point where I almost forgot that I wasn't watching all episodes, because I watched the first cliffhanger and then it jumped to the sixth part, and I was like, oh, whoa, I forgot, because something happens at the end of the third part, and I was like, oh, and then I got confused how it jumped, because I'd forgotten. And also Wheel in Space has a couple of iconic scenes in it, which are in the clips, which is pretty good. So overall, I think an opinion, the Lessons in Time box set isn't a bad box set. If you're going to buy it, if you don't want to buy it, that's fine. I can see why some people won't want to buy it, because it will feel like a bit of a waste of money if in like 2030, by 2030 they've probably animated pretty much all the episodes and possibly even found some more of them. So, if that's the case, then I can understand why people are holding back from this. Like, personally, I hold back from buying The Underwater Menace because I just want to wait for it to get an animation. So I can see why people don't want to buy this, but I think it's a good thing to watch. I think it's good to look at some of the episodes some of these episodes, like the Daleks Master Plan and stuff. And also, I think it's good because you get to watch the Daleks Master Plan. Although I think I know that it's probably not going to come back out. It's not going to come out again. Like, they're not going to release it as an animation for a long time because it probably would take the full year to animate it. So it would be like a really long project for them to do, which is why I feel like it will take a little bit longer for that one to be animated. So it's good I get to watch some in here. And also, the single most best part of the Lost in Time box set is you get to watch Katarina get killed, which I think is always good. Well, it's not good, but it's just like it's a cool like milestone. Like, this was the first time a companion got killed off before Adric, before the Ponds, I suppose, in some respects, before Clara, although she got brought back and stuff like that. She was the first one, which is pretty good milestone, which is good that at least you can watch it in some form on the Lost in Time. But yeah, so I can see why people don't like it, and some people do like it, but that is just it. I mean, if I bought this, if I became a fan and bought all the DVDs in the future when most of the animations are out, I could see why I don't want to buy it. But at the moment, I think it's alright. But yeah, that's just my opinion of it. Some people can go, oh no, I don't like it. But, well, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Go watch some of my other reviews or my other, like, miscellaneous kind of stuff. And yeah, see ya.